Here, back at the Fantasy Bar. Week 11 is here, and we are back with 6 of my favorite plays for you on FanDuel and DraftKings, including a couple plays in the mid-range that look a lot lower owned than I expected them to be. One passing game I really want to get a ton of exposure to. I'll give you my favorite value play at the wide receiver position, and a beast of the week that is set up for a giant day. Who we talking about? Only one way to find out. It's time to belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, guys. Week 11 edition. The season just continues to roll on, but we are back with 6 of my favorite plays for you on FanDuel and DraftKings main slate. Thank you, as always, for stopping by the Fantasy Bar and checking out this week's video. Before we get to those plays, do me a favor. You guys have been doing a great job with this. I greatly appreciate it. All you got to do, hit that tip jar, and that is simply taking a second, clicking that thumbs up button. Really helps us out here to continue to bring you these free videos, so thank you for that. And also make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos. All right, let's take a quick look back at Week 10. Some great hits in here. Our New England combo, Travion Henderson and Drake May. Henderson going over 30. May was solid at 19, was expecting a little bit more. Abuka as our run it back, got it done as well. Laporta, a little disappointing, turned into a Jameson Williams game. Jawan Jennings, great at his number, under 5K on DraftKings. And Dowdle got off to a good start, and somehow game script went against them, against the New Orleans Saints. Was okay. We obviously wanted much more from that beast of the week spot. All in all, not a bad week, but let's turn the page here to Week 11. All right, let's jump in with our first play at running back with Aaron Jones of Minnesota. Now, obviously, things can change as we get closer to Sunday, but right now, as of this recording, the ownership numbers on Aaron Jones look very attractive here in GPPs. I get it. He has that questionable tag. But if he's going to be this low owned, certainly somebody I want to get a lot of exposure to. Absolutely dominated the backfield here for this Minnesota Vikings team. Played 71% of the snaps, got all the goal line work. And we know this guy gives you a lot of upside, both on the ground and through the air. And Jordan Mason, who's more expensive on DraftKings, has really been regulated to more of a bench role here with Aaron Jones back. We'll see if he's healthy, but I'd expect him to play in this game. Big game for Minnesota, still very much in the hunt here. And it's a good spot for him against Chicago. We're talking bottom half of the league in rushing yards allowed to running backs, receiving touchdowns allowed, which we know is a big part of Aaron Jones' games, and of course, fantasy points allowed to the running back position as well. So Aaron Jones should not be this low owned. Keep an eye on it as we get closer to Sunday, but a great spot for him against the Chicago Bears. All right, let's go to wide receiver position next in the mid-range with another guy not showing a ton of ownership, and that is T. Higgins. So Jamar Chase looking like one of the most highly owned players on the slate, and I get it. I'm going to have some Jamar Chase as well this week. So you can do a couple of things here. You can decide to fade Chase, a little risky. You could use both of these guys in a stack with or without Joe Flacco and help lower your ownership with that combination. Or you can simply pivot to T. Higgins at much lower ownership in a good spot. He's been great with Joe Flacco, 4 touchdowns over the last 3 weeks, averaging 23 DraftKings points per game. Yes, a lot of that fueled by a 36 last time out, but just shows the kind of ceiling that we have available to us at a 6K price point. And a matchup with Pittsburgh doesn't get any better. They've given up the most receptions to wide receivers, the most receiving yards per game, and of course, the most DraftKings points per game as well. Cincinnati also underdogs in this spot, so could be a lot of air yards here available for Chase, for Higgins. Very condensed target tree, and I love these prices and ownership on T. Higgins. All right, let's go to the quarterback position and get you some value with Jacoby Brissett of Arizona. So since entering the lineup here for the Cardinals, all this guy has done is get the job done and put numbers on the board here. Hasn't led to a lot of success for this Cardinals team in the W column, but we're worried about fantasy points, and he continues to produce them. Price remains under 5,000 somehow on DraftKings, so a great value in this spot for Jacoby Brissett. Even 7K on FanDuel, not a terrible price. Over the last 4 games, we're talking over 20 DraftKings points in all of them. And we're talking close games. We're talking the game that got blown out in Seattle, and he's averaging nearly 23 DraftKings points per game. Now this spot, 48.5 point total here, close spread, and the Niners have had some struggles with the quarterback position. 6 most touchdown passes allowed, and they are bottom 10 in DraftKings points allowed to the quarterback position. So Brissett just simply too cheap on DraftKings. Take advantage in this spot against the San Francisco 49ers. All right, to the tight end position next. And to me, there's one guy that's head and shoulders above everybody else, and that is Brissett's teammate, Trey McBride. I don't care what the cost is on Trey McBride. He could be $7,500 on DraftKings. He could be $9,000 on FanDuel. I still want some exposure to him and I don't care what the ownership is. Yes, he's going to be highly owned. I don't think he's going to be as owned as he should be here, so I'm not worried about that. Plenty of ways to get different here. I think he is absolutely the top tight end play, and it's by a wide margin here this week. At least 9 targets in every single game with Jacoby Brissett, averaging 11.5 targets per game. Remember when he couldn't score any touchdowns? 5 touchdowns for Trey McBride over the last 4 weeks and averaging over 24 DraftKings points per game. We also have no Marvin Harrison Jr. here. That should be even more. That goes the direction of Trey McBride, and the Niners have given up the touchdowns to tight ends, 5th most in the entire league. We mentioned that total here, and I don't care what the ownership is. Trey McBride going to be a staple here for me in week 11. All right, one more piece from Arizona. Let's get you to double stack with wide receiver Michael Wilson. You could add Greg Dortch in here as well. I think they're both viable here, but I prefer Michael Wilson here. Another guy that's going to benefit with Marvin Harrison Jr. out of the lineup. Has shown some nice rapport with Jacoby Brissett. Now the numbers, they don't jump off the page, but they've been solid. 4 more targets in 4 straight games. Did see 7 targets last week, so did see an uptick, and will fill that wide receiver 1 role with Marvin Harrison Jr. on the sidelines. And the Niners have had major problems with wide receivers. We're talking bottom 12 in the league in receptions allowed, receiving yards per game allowed, and DraftKings points per game allowed to this position. Get it, Michael Wilson has mostly been a bust for his NFL career, but I think he could break out here in a big way with as well as Brissett has been playing. That total at 48.5 and a price tag under 4K. Sign me up with the value on Michael Wilson. All right, it's time. Take a look at my favorite play for week 11. Before we do that, let's give away another free month of RotoGrinders Premium. Who's out there handing out free months of premium? Our 11th winner coming up this week. All you need to do, click that thumbs up button, make sure you hit that tip jar, head to the comment section and guess fantasy points on DraftKings for my beast of the week. If your guess is the closest, simple as that. You win a free month of RotoGrinders Premium simply for watching today's video and hanging out in the fantasy bar. All right, let's wrap things up with my favorite play, you know him as Beast of the Week. All right, Beast time. I promised you a guy with some giant upside, and we are going running back Josh Jacobs of Green Bay, this week's Beast of the Week. So some cheesy puns in there for you with Josh Jacobs, but tough loss last week against Philadelphia. I'm really expecting this team to get back on track and do what they do best, and that is run the football with Josh Jacobs. Jordan Love has looked a little dicey here over the last couple weeks. Now, not to say they're not going to let him get loose as well, but I think we see a heavy dose of Josh Jacobs, who has scored in every single game this season outside of that Cleveland game. And over the last 4 games, his involvement in the passing game has really taken a spike, averaging 4 catches per game. It only adds to the upside here. You know he's going to get the carries. We know the touchdown's a good bet. If he's getting 3 to 4 receptions per game, that's more ceiling opportunity here for him. And what a matchup here against this Giants defense. 2nd most rushing yards allowed per game to the running back position. They've given up 9 rushing touchdowns this season, 3rd highest mark in the league, and the 2nd most DraftKings points allowed per week to the running back position. Can't set up any better here. Josh Jacobs, easily my favorite play on the board and this week's Beast of the Week. All right, guys, that'll do it for our Week 11 six-pack. As always, any comments, questions, feedback, whatever you guys want to talk about, you can hit me up under the video here on YouTube in the comment section or on Twitter at Beermakersfan. And get your guess in. Josh Jacobs, DraftKings points. How many does he put up this week? The winner going to walk away with a free month of RotoGrinders Premium. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salute, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck in Week 11, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for checking out our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more DraftKings, FanDuel, and other DFS content. And you can check out our daily live show schedule on RotoGrinders.com/videos.